Welcome to this video of Activity-5. We are going to see how to break down the GDP of Canada and play around with it. So I strongly recommend you read the first 7 points where we try to explain the different GDP concepts. So there are different components of GDP. If you remember the equation we saw in class, GDP is consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus net export. So you will find the data here on this website. You will download the data for GDP and then you will play around with it. I think the instruction says you should download data for the last 5 years. It says for the past 5 years. So we are going to go on the site and get the data. So I've already opened it. Of course, it takes a few seconds to load, but it loads immediately to the GDP page. And when it does that, what we have to do is to choose all the components. I think there are about 7 components. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you just choose all of these components. Okay, all these components, you choose it. So we already have GDP at market price. I'll take that, click there, take the next one. Just choose everything that is here. Then you are good to go. Now we've chosen everything. I want it from 2020. So I'll just change that to 2020. And here we can leave it as the filtered data. We want to get the filtered data. So I'll click download. In principle, it should take it into my download folder. Yeah, I'll click on download and it's going to take it in my download folder. I'll just click here to open it directly. So you can go in your download folder, you'll find it. So once I do that, I'm going to come here, I'll double click to increase the size. Then you can see the date, double click between B and C. It's going to increase the size, and here is our data. Here we have all the different components of GDP, and then we have the values. So remember, the components, you can always place it in different categories whereby you can distinguish what is consumption, what is investment, government expenditure, as well as net export. So I'll go to insert, I'll take pivot table, I will accept all the defaults, and I'll say OK. Now I'm going to take value, put it where we have values, take component, put it where we have columns, and date, I'll put it where we have date. Now I will let this give me the average. I won't take the sum. I'll click on it, value field setting, take average, number format, go to number, OK, and OK. Now the next thing we want to do is just to insert the line chart. So if I come back to my Word document, you can see it says, using Excel, create a separate line graph for each of the 7 GDP components listed above, set blah, 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 blah. My recommendation is just create one. As we move on, I'll show you the different things we want to do. So just try to follow my recommendations. I won't do this once. I will let you do the label. You label the axis, you provide a title for it. You can do that. I won't do it, but I strongly recommend you do those parts. I'm going to do the line one right now. So once I click inside, I go to pivot chart and I'm going to take line and then I'll OK. Here we are with the line. Okay, let's see if I click here what happens. And so this is what we have in terms of line. Okay, so I will insert, if I'm you, I will insert those things. So just make sure it's active. Let's see, pivot chart, format the chart, design. You want to go to design. Under design, you go to add chart element. If you want, you just come here and you take this one. You have the title, you have the y-axis, x-axis. You can now just put the labels, and then your first chart is done. So let me just put anything here. So you should put the right label. The instruction says you should put something that makes sense, and even provided examples. So I will copy this one. Okay, I can do print screen, just chop it. Print screen is generally the best for me. I'll just do a print screen. So any modern PC will allow you to do that. So I'll select the area, I'll create a new Word document, click to move down so that I'm not stuck. Go back, paste it with Ctrl V, click on the image, click here and choose that. Fix position, click down, go back to my Excel. This time I'll go back to pivot chart analyze and I'll insert a slicer. This one is important. I'll take components, I'll OK, and then I have the components here. I'll place it there. Let me slightly, I don't want this thing. So there we go. Let's look at the questions now, and then that will help us decide what to do. So if you take a look here, it says, for each of the 7 components, describe the overall trend. So just looking at the chart, you can say, okay, this is the trend, this is the general tendency. Okay, so the first chart can help you. It even says, can you connect anomalies, blah, blah, blah. The second one, you can still use that chart to do it. The next one says, create one graph that plots both export of goods and services and imports. So now you want to create a completely different chart having just exports and imports. So I'll come here, I'll just keep imports and exports. So I'll click on imports and I'll look for exports. Here we go with exports. I will hold down Control Command for those who are using Mac, and I'll click on it. Then I'll release the Control key. So there we go. If you want, you can adjust the axis, but I'll just leave it. And then you can see what's going on in terms of the export and imports. It's important you adjust your title to reflect the change you have, because now it's not all the components, it's only export and import. And I'll do exactly the same thing. I'll do a print screen, or you can copy it as an image and take it. So I'll do a print screen, take it to my Word document. Paste it, click on it, do the adjustments here, fix, and then click below it, so that if I need to bring another chart, I should have no problems. Let's look at the instructions. It says, look at your graph for GDP at market prices. How does its trend reflect the combined trend of other components? So yeah, I don't think there's anything to say here. In your own words, explain, blah, 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 blah. So this one just wants you to compare GDP at market product compared to the other ones. So if you come to your initial chart, this one, so you have to look at GDP and market product compared to the other one. If you add all the other ones, will the sum end up giving you the one which is here? It's true that you have 2 charts here. You have another component which I've explained here. Final domestic demand. Okay, final domestic demand and GDP at market price. They seem to be the same, with this being slightly higher. That's not what they are talking about. They are saying, the question says, compare GDP at market price to final consumption, fixed capital formation, investment in inventories, export of goods and services, and import. That's what you are comparing. In principle, when you sum them, they should be equal to that. You can do the math in Excel and see if it's going to give you. You can sum those values and see if the sum of those other things will end up giving you that. But that's not necessary. It's up to you to decide how you want to go about. So basically, you can use these two charts, just these two charts, to be able to do what you have been asked to do. Okay, I think that will be it for me.